Okay, I think we're live, and just gonna wait a little bit for people to join. Um, and a couple of people had subscribed and said they will come to this hangout. So of course, it would be more fun if everyone was here. We do this a little bit more interactively. So just wait a couple minutes and see if people join, and then if they don't, I just will talk a little bit about the Protractor / ruler extension that I found for Chrome that I've been using in my classroom a little bit, and we'll take it from there. So just sit tight for a little bit, and then you can, if you're watching this, you can probably fast forward, or I can put a little bookmark on the place where the instruction actually starts. So I'll just hang out for a little bit, see if someone will join. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I think we can get started. Hopefully people will join, so I'm not by myself. All right, so first, I'm gonna, I think, go to screen share mode with you guys in a second to show you what tool I'm talking about. So let's go to screen share. Let's do the entire screen. Okay, and of course it's a little weird because you can see this. Okay, so what I need you guys to focus on is here. I have all my Chrome extensions. And right now, the extension I'm actually going to use is not installed. So the extension is called MB Ruler, and you can see it on this website here. And this is kind of how it looks like. There's a cool way to access it once you install just from your little extension shortcut list here, so you don't have to open a separate application for it. So how do I get there? Well, we can, since you know it's called MB Ruler, we can download it from the Google Chrome store, and there is a link here. And if you do not know how to get it, you can type in chrome.google.com, I believe, /web store. It's going to take us to the different Chrome extensions here. I can go search the store, since I know this is called MB Ruler. That's what I'm going to search. And here, this is the one, the Protractor on the green. Here you have the plus sign. It's free, so I can click on this. I can install it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and click on free. It's going to check. Do you want me to really add this extension? I say yes, add it. And now it's here. I see it. And I can always uninstall later if I want to. So, okay, I'm going to X this one out. Okay, it doesn't let me for some reason. Okay, there we go. And if I click on this, I can look at the FAQ on the home page, which we just went to earlier. You can click here again. And here we are, back on the home page. You can read through those instructions, but I think I can show you how this works. So what do we use this for? In my class, I originally decided to go with this because we're doing a section on vectors, and we are doing everything in Google Docs. So our students have all the problem sets and all the assignments typed up by their teachers into Google Docs. So how does it look like? So this is an example. I gotta go to screen share again with you guys. Hold on. The screen share, entire screen. So right here, this is an investigation document. We have problems typed up here, and some of the problems that we have ask students to, on a sheet of plain or graph paper, make an accurate drawing of a vector. And we have the magnitude and direction is given, and they have to perform a bunch of exercises to show that they can draw the vectors correctly. Now, of course, this, what the problem sometimes is, when you go back and forth between paper and online documents, the students can sometimes get a little confused, or what they should hand in, and it's confusing for me as well. Quite frankly, when I switch back and forth between a lot of digital assignments and a lot of paper assignments, I like to keep them, well, at least operate in one mode. So if I would decide to go digital this semester, that's what I want to stick to. So I was interested to see, are there any ways that I can incorporate drawing tools that will be good for this. So for vectors, I found out this tool and see how that comes about. So here we are. We have this is a drawing, empty drawing document, right? So I just created a new drawing. You can access this menu from any document you have. In this drawing document, I have a little map that I took a screenshot of from the student's textbook, and I have a ruler. So we have lines of latitude and longitude, and we see that each nautical mile, the difference from nautical mile, is 1 minute of latitude. And given a map, you can take any map you use, any map you want. This is in good scale, I think. So we can now plot some routes or create a problem. So let's say that we leave from Stone Harbor and we want to go to the Bell 3 buoy right here. So how do we plot that course? Well, we can use a drawing tool, draw a line, and I'm just going to draw from here to the Bell 3 right here. Now, so I tell my students that a vector has both magnitude and direction. The length of it is, of course, the magnitude. The direction is shown by an arrow. So I want to make sure I have an arrow tip first. I don't like this black color, so I'm going to make it red. And I'm going to change the line thickness, line weight, over here. So from 2 pixels maybe to 4. So it's a little thicker, it's easier to see. Okay, now I can add an arrow tip. Arrowhead start, arrowhead end. I choose an arrowhead from the options here. I'll leave the this arrow end blank, so nothing is there. All right, so I drew the arrow about from Stone Harbor to Bell 3. Now the problem is, of course, I have this this was easy to draw, and it's nice. I didn't have to use a ruler because it draws a straight line for me. How do I measure now the direction and magnitude? So this is where this ruler comes in play. Now, you notice that nothing is here, and all the options are not here. I just installed it, and this is important. So after I install it, I need to actually refresh a page that I want to use it on. So I'm just going to Command R on my MacBook to refresh this page, and I should have the options should appear on the side. There we are. So that's what they look like here. There are 3 different tools I can use. So I can X them out here, this box, and then you see this in this little corner, you have an icon you can click on and expand these options. So what are these options? You can add the rulers on top and the bottom, on top and the side to measure things. I don't really use them. You can use a grid line, which is nice. You can align things. You can make, it helps with also construction, of course. And you can use, here on the left, you will have 2 dots that you can move to change the size of the grid. On the side of the grid is, as you move it, you can see in the upper left corner, tells you how many pixels by how many pixels you have on the grid right here. So we can just use it as an overlay, or you can turn it off. And the most important part is, of course, this protractor here, ruler/protractor, that I can use. Now, you notice at the bottom of the protractor with 3 red dots, I have a blue dot above here too. So if I click on the middle red dot, I get to move this protractor around. All right, so the middle one is to move it around. Then on the left and the right, these ones I can use to shrink, expand, and pivot. So I can just move my mouse around. This protractor moves with it. I'll talk about this one in a second. So here, how do I measure this angle, this direction of this vector? Well, in this case, I want to make sure I line up this protractor with the east-west lines, and I can use this grid to kind of help me figure this out. So to see that this it's pretty parallel, maybe just a little bit more. Okay, here we are in business, and I think this is actually, it's fine-tuning at a level that's much more accurate than what we would do on paper a lot of the time. And then I can read that this from here, center of protractor, it goes through around 62 degrees maybe, right? So I'm going to create a text box here, make it a little smaller. I don't need this to be this big, this wide. So in here, and I can change my font again to red so it matches my vector, which is nice. And I haven't measured the vector yet, so I don't know what the magnitude is, but it looks like the direction is around 62 degrees, 62 degrees, this one. What is once I have this, how do I find the length? Now, I have a scale on the side here, so I want to show you how to use this. Now, I can hide this ruler at this point. Click on this arrow, and I can press the Option or Alt key, and after I select this item, press down Alt or Option key and drag it to the side, and we'll make a copy of it. Right now, so I could try to see how I can measure this with this ruler on the side. Once, of course, I'm going in an angle, so it's a little more difficult. Now we could find the horizontal and vertical components of this vector and calculate. But let's say at this point we still want to develop measurement skills and have students kind of compare the length to that of the ruler. So of course this is hard to do right now. If I rotate it, I have to be wary of the shape scaling a little bit. I don't think there is a good way to rotate it without changing the length. So I see I'm trying to rotate it, but it's changing the length each time. So that is not working for me right now. So this is not going to work. So again, I can use my ruler to measure things very nicely. This blue dot in the middle, it will help me with this. So I move this blue dot around, I get a circle in the middle here that tells me two things. D is a distance. Is a distance in pixels from the center dot. And alpha, looks like an A, actually tells me the angle. So if I drag this blue dot to where the tip of my arrow is, to the bell 3, I see that my angle is 62.08 degrees, and the distance is about 401 and a fraction of a pixel. Well, since we're doing pixels, pretty small, I think it's pretty accurate. And if we want to make this bigger, you have to make the protractor bigger. So you have to extend this protractor. And notice that the placement of the blue ball doesn't change. So now I just make sure I don't pivot it too much. Right? So it's still parallel to the east-west lines. So it looks like 62 degrees was correct. It was very close. And I doubt that with an actual protractor we would measure to a tenth of a degree. So I'm going to leave it at 62 degrees here. I think it's plenty accurate. And 401 pixels. So we could round it to 400. So this is pretty good. Now, how do I relate this to my nautical miles? Because this is 401 pixels. And I need to make a conversion. So to do that, I'm actually going to measure how much 1 nautical mile is. So I'm going to place my ruler here at the bottom and grab this blue ball and see, so at the angle of about 9 degrees, right? I see that 1 nautical mile on my screen right now is about 99, 100 pixels. 100 pixels. So 1 nautical mile is 100 pixels. 100 pixels is equal to 1 nautical mile. That means that this vector is around 4 nautical miles. That's the magnitude, and a heading of 62 degrees. So I drew it and measured it. And of course, I'm explaining as I'm doing it, but we can do it much more quickly in the future. Okay, so let's do one more. Let's just say we're going to leave from this bell 3 buoy, and we're going to go to the bell, to the number 6 buoy. So we're going to draw another vector, use the line tool. I'm going to adjust the width of it right now, and I'm going to make it blue. And I'm going to draw it from this buoy to this buoy. Okay, now arrow, it didn't change. So let's make this blue now. I guess you have to change it after you draw the line, and make an arrow tip so you show it's a vector. Okay, there we go. That was quick, right? And let's take a look at this vector. Now let's measure what's the direction, what's the length. Let's take a ruler, and actually, since we could go this way and measure this angle right here and do some math, but since we're measuring, actually, we will measure like this. So we can use the visual measurement tool, put our protractor here. So again, the center protractor initial point, and rotate it. Make our blue ball move to the tip of the vector right here, and we see that the direction is 216 degrees and a half degrees, and the distance 237 pixels. So I'm going to put that in blue font so I know this represents my blue vector, since I didn't name them. So I have 237 pixels at 216.5 degrees. So that's the magnitude and the direction of this vector. Now, if I'm using the same scale because I didn't resize my screen, so 100 pixels is still equal to 1 nautical mile. So how many nautical miles is this? Well, 2.3, right? 2.37 nautical miles. 216.5 is my direction. I don't know about you, but I think this is pretty accurate, actually, as a measurement tool, right? Not sure if I'd be able to come up with a more accurate measurement using regular tools. So of course the scale is nice. So maybe look at an example in which the scale is, you have to make up your own scale. It's all different. So I did this exercise with my students, and this is a sample of what they had to do, and this is the work also. So right here I gave them 3 vectors, K and then Q, and I didn't draw anything here. This is all their work using the ruler, and I can show you how we can check for accuracy. So K, vector K, 3 miles, 25 degrees, and 5 miles, 160 degrees, and Q, 6 miles, 310 degrees. You see, I don't have this menu here because I didn't refresh this page after my installation yet. And once you refresh, every single time you're open, you will have those tools ready to use. So let's see, this is the students' work, and I can check their work using this ruler myself. So I also get to use it. Students are not the only ones who use it. I want to make sure that this is pretty horizontal. I believe it is. Every single time you open it, it should be in the horizontal alignment here. So it looks good. And I want to make it a little bigger so I can see better. I can make sure it's horizontal like this. And of course, this line I could extend it, but I can also use my my blue dot here. So I'm going to align it with this vector K right here. So it goes through it. And this arc in the middle shows me that I'm measuring the angle from the horizontal up to all the way up to K. And so it tells me right now angle is 24.95 degrees. Was given us 25. So he did a very good job measuring this angle right here. So good work on this. And then let's say I'm going to put it on the tip of from the initial point to the terminal point of the vector, and I measure 156 pixel about. Maybe I should move it a little bit closer here, and this tip here. Okay, so about 152. The scale that he used, I suggested this one, and I think they used it. 50 pixels to 1 mile, so 150 pixels, 52. That's pretty close to 3 miles. So this is a fairly accurate drawing. Vector n is right here. We see it in the construction of K plus n. So I'm going to move again the protractor so the middle here is in the initial point of the vector, and the terminal point at the tip. And just about I get an angle of 159.72, so very close to 160. Good job. And the distance 318.94. So maybe just a little off. I think I have it lined up pretty well. So 320 pixels. It was supposed to have 5 miles. So I can see it should be 300 pixels for this to be, right? Vector n, 5 miles. So it should be 250 pixels for it to be 5 miles. So this vector is off. The correct angle, but the length is off. It should be at 250. Right? So it should be about this length. He's using the same scale. So he drew 1 unit, he got around 300, so he drew about 6 miles. So this is incorrect. And I can write a comment, insert a comment, or I can draw the correction here if I want to. I usually don't do this because I think that the students should make the correction themselves, but if I wanted to, I could draw it from here to here and make a red correction, maybe a green correction, make it a little thicker, so they see that this is a little too big so that this should be the correct vector, right? So there we go. So this would be correct, and of course the resultant now is incorrect as well because his vector n is used incorrectly. He has another one n over here. I wonder if that was he used the same measurement or not. So we can check. this vector n in this construction is about 250. So this one's correct. This one's the correct length. K looks about the same. I'm going to measure it again. And in this construction, this is, I believe, n plus k minus q. So we have n to k 160. This is 160 pixels, so a little over 150. I think a little too long, but the heading is okay. All right, so it should be a little shorter. And then here we have vector q, which is supposed to be 6 miles, 310. So 6 miles should be 300 pixels of the 310 heading. I move the blue dot here again, and I get 325 pixels at a heading of 307. So the heading is a little off, and this is a little off. So again, accuracy doesn't matter, right, in this, and we can get very, very accurate readings. I encourage my students to do so. But if you know, just like if you're not paying attention or a little sloppy in your construction by hand, you can also be a little sloppy in your constructions here. Okay, so that's about it for this example. I have one more that I want to showcase, and this is some finished student work right here. So we were talking about these vectors we're given, and we're supposed to do combinations of them. This is an exercise the students did kind of at the beginning of class as a warm-up. I just gave them a few lengths, and they were supposed to construct the vectors and create some resultant vectors. So this is the drawing, and I can double-click it, I believe, to... Oh, no, this is the student... actually, I can tell because the grid in the back. So the student took a screenshot of their drawing, which is okay. And if I want to check it, the scale doesn't really matter, because you'll see that the scale has, I need to refresh this page too. The scale is relative, of course. So once the students say what they used, it's really for them, because if you check the work, it doesn't matter. If it will change depending on my zoom settings, for example, right? Of course, this is, as I zoom in a little bit to see it there, the arrows will get longer, so they take more pixels up. So I don't pay attention to this as much anymore, but I can still check if they're using a correct relative scale. So vector J is the purple one, heading of 130. Looks about right, but let's measure it exactly. Move the blue ball to the tip, or to just align it with it. So I get, let's move this. Should be horizontal. Let's do the grid to see. Nope, it's not. Yep, there we go. So it's very good, 129, so to 1 degree of accuracy. And then the length of this is 191, right? So 191 pixels, 190, just about. And that was supposed to represent, the 190 pixels is representing 5 centimeters. 190 representing 5 centimeters, so 190 divided by 5, 38 pixels on my screen represents 1 unit, right? So 38, this one's supposed to be 3, so 38 times 3 is 134, I believe. So 134, is that the length that I will get here? So I can measure from, doesn't matter which direction I measure, 134, let's see. So this one seems a little off. Right, so this one, the length seems a little off here, and so on and so forth. So for us, it took us about 1 class to get used to it, and then 1 class to practice these. They do come up with really nice diagrams, and I think aesthetically this is fairly well done. This was another problem. This is the problem actually from here that the students worked on, and I think to really get a hang of it, you need to, you know, as a teacher, experiment with it a little bit. And I think it's more applications besides just measurement and trigonometry. I think if you're trying to make accurate constructions with this, you can and create some drawings and designs and line the vectors up nicely. This is actually one last thing that I wanted to talk about. So let's go back to this example here. And this has nothing to do with the ruler, but let's say you want to double a vector. Again, you can select, press the Alt key, and just drag it till you have this red cross here. And that means you've selected, place it tip to tip right here. And now you have double that vector here. You can also grab a vector and place another vector, place it right here to the tip, and you can make this construction very, very accurately. If you want to have an opposite of a vector, well, at first what I was doing, I was actually rotating this whole vector around, but there's a much easier way to do it. Of course, you just reverse the arrow tips. So you remove this one by clicking here on this option, and then put the arrow tip on the other side. So you have these tools here, which makes it much easier, right? And you can, the best part, of course, is that you can copy these so quickly if you need to. So it's helpful. And again, I think that with a little bit of practice, both you and your students can benefit from this tool. And I think we have been able to incorporate this pretty effectively, even though there were some hiccups in the beginning, into our curriculum. So I enjoyed working with this tool very much, and I hope that you will too. Give it a try. Again, the tool is called MB Ruler, and this is the and you can go to the Chrome extension web store and look it up there. MB Ruler is what you're looking for. Okay, so any questions up to this point? Let's see if we have. Nope, I don't see any questions. I see I have one viewer, but I don't see them. So, okay, that's it from me. Thank you guys for watching and tuning in. And I hope that you will find this useful. So take care. Until next time.